Hello everyone. In this video I will be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Aftab Iqbal to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let us go through the key developments and insights in Aftab Iqbal's words. I believe it is a coincidence of fate that we have a very dear friend in Qatar who called me. He said, "I am standing on the roof of my house and the scene I am seeing is quite frightening. Missiles, projectiles are coming and they are being shot down from below." Hearing this myself, I was very surprised that this happened exactly at the time I had started vlogging. I narrated the whole sequence to him, chatted a little, and gathered some news from here and there. It turned out that Iran had targeted United States airbases in retaliation or as a response to America, possibly issuing some statement or announcement. The airbase is Al Udeid in Qatar, close to the Saudi border. This news was coming from there. Coincidentally, the projectiles were visible over his house, and he sent me clips, which I'm not playing right now. The projectiles were indeed coming. First 6, then 7, then 8, then 10. Meanwhile, while in the confusion about what to do, news came from Iraq and Bahrain as well. Bahrain issued an alert for its citizens for safety measures and sirens. It felt like the fire, which was previously limited to 2 countries, had now spread, and it seems like a regional conflict has begun. And all this happened in no time. Apparently no large-scale damage was caused by this attack. There is no doubt that Iran did not just fire blanks. But if Iran intended to cause damage, it would have attacked with hypersonic missiles. This is a big indicator that you need to understand. There is a difference between ordinary ballistic missiles and hypersonic missiles, which we always talk about. If they wanted to cause real harm, they would have easily attacked with hypersonic missiles. I specifically noted from Iran's side, as I was taking notes, since I have to go live now, that Iran stated that there is no issue with Qatar. Qatar is a brotherly country, a friendly nation with whom Iran has had a deep relationship for the last 10 years. What Iran is doing now is not against Qatar, and the Qatari government is aware of this. So this was a symbolic gesture which I think was a direct warning, a reaction, an outcome. One should say that today's meeting between the Iranian foreign minister and President Putin was clear and categorical. We stand with Iran, we will help it. This has been their stance from the beginning. Iran did nothing that would justify a direct attack. Iran did not say that they will fully support Iran and consider any attack on Iran as an attack on themselves. There is no such case in international relations, but I think this was more than enough to show solidarity. I always request that such situations are rarely used in one's favor. Nobody really plays this game. Iraq immediately reacted too, and I noted their reaction. Iraq requested America to prevent Israel from using Iraqi airspace to attack Iran, because ultimately Iraq would suffer the consequences. United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Qatar have clearly closed their airspace. There is no doubt that Iraq also took some measures by the time this conversation was happening. Today, the Strait of Hormuz was largely closed and shut down. Though there was no official announcement to close it, the Iranian parliament approved it. Signals were scrambled there, leading many shipping lines to stop their shipments due to the risk of accidents, which would cause huge damage. This means a major route through which fossil fuels are supplied to the entire Western world is now facing serious problems. The current situation is precarious and complicated. Right, sir. Along with this, there are 2 or 3 other things to discuss today, especially for Pakistan. We always pay attention to anything related to Pakistan. Today, Ajit Doval met in China. The Chinese leadership for the first time prioritized terrorism in their agenda, which is surprising. If our friends had any sensitivity, they should clearly take this as a shockwave because China has never done this before, never agreed with India's perspective on terrorism. The question always arises, from whose perspective does India talk about terrorism? Obviously, it is about Pakistan. China's agreement with India on this is clear. This is a direct result and outcome. Regarding your Nobel Prize, my advice is that in such a situation, go beyond the Nobel Prize. Award him some recognition for performance, maybe a Pride of Performance or a Nigar Film Award. Trump is an actor, right? Not just a phrase. He really is an actor, a good one, who has worked in films. If you have doubts, watch Home Alone. He acted there and even filmed in Trump Plaza. So yes, he is an actor. Give him the Nigar Award or some similar award for his performance because he really demonstrated his performance. He has repeatedly broken his promises and continuously exceeded limits. He did not just ignore the issue, he also deployed weapons and repeatedly branded every country that spoke in support of Palestine as a suspect. In the name of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians have suffered atrocities. Even in America, students or those who demonstrate are intimidated, threatened, and sometimes deported. Yesterday, I requested, or rather a few days ago, that even MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, was warned and told, "You talk about a two-state solution. Who did you ask? Are you crazy? We are including you and many others in the Abraham Accords. We are receiving awards and recognition, including Nobel Prizes. So how can you talk about a two-state solution?" This is the whole perspective, after which there are two more important perspectives for you. One is America's attack on Iran, which led to the meeting of Putin and the Iranian foreign minister. The tension you see in Qatar, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, and the whole region is very mild. It is not a long or big sequence. Things are recognized by indicators. This was just a symbolic gesture. If you do this, it is under our control. Right now, thousands of Americans are present at various airbases in the region, and around 3,000 Americans are in Israel. This is also important. The other perspective, ladies and gentlemen, which I was requesting, is about what began on the day of the lunch meeting, the secretive, whisper-filled lunch. I think the food was not as delicious as the secret conversations. And this is a big worrying issue. I have asked before, and I'm asking now and always will. In international language and nomenclature, these are called bad optics. When a person who is not your ally, not a head of state but a head of an army, meets you without a State Department official or a note-taker, and you do not know what agreements were made or what was discussed, it creates perception problems. You may have seen and heard many reactions in our country. There are often exaggerations, but it comes down to perception. Unfortunately, these things are not told at the right time. You realize later when much water has already flowed under the bridges. A message was sent to China. And today, China has given a reaction. This is just a tip of the iceberg from which you should understand with whom they have discussed these things. With Ajit Doval, whose country is still at war with you. We have stopped the war, right? The war has ended. We have won. The war we usually talk about, they're still preparing. In fact, this trip, which I had requested a few days ago, was already decided. Another trip is coming. There are talks about the Indian minister going to China again. So in this tension, these are dangerous things. Today, China talked about terrorism, and this should be a moment of concern for you. But for that, it is important that you're a bit sensitive and understand. Apart from this, we had also requested some time ago that these two wars will merge. The war which we consider postponed or ended is actually not over. India can never spend a single day without suspicion about Pakistan. India, under today's regime, Hindutva-run India, can never have a better thought about Pakistan or not be suspicious of Pakistan. So whenever the opportunity comes, they will show themselves. Today, probably for the 70th or 75th time, I'm requesting to at least complete preparations and keep informing that we are ready. That is not the case, and based on my information, Pakistan is definitely not negligent at all. Because I have interest in this field, Pakistan has tried to obtain weapons from one or two places where usually there is no expectation. And they said that if it had been available, they would have definitely given it. Most of the Zirskis have been taken. It was needed right next to us. And if newly made, it would take a whole year. Pakistan and India are in a hurry right now. In the coming days, these wars will seem to merge. A few days ago, I said that it would seem like a dovetail. If this happens, it is not necessary, but I pray that it does not happen in a way that harms Pakistan, or is harmful for mutual relations, or is harmful for the general situation. But the situation is heading in that direction. The circumstances emerging. Which expert on international affairs has not analyzed this? Which political analyst has not predicted this? Which astrologer or astronomer has not spoken about it? Nowadays, on television, on various channels, people are talking in the language of stars, telling that this issue is emerging. The meeting that happened today between Putin and the Iranian foreign minister, after that, an important development. Have you noticed or not, the Iranians, while giving a statement to CNN, said that they will continue this war for the next 2 years. This war is likely to extend for 2 more years. This is no small matter. And from our side, you can understand the preparation. This war has entered the phase of war of attrition. Just the day before yesterday, Netanyahu said that they are being pushed towards war of attrition, which they will not allow because their big brother is present. The big brother himself is trying to save his own dignity, hiding and pretending that he is not affected. But he is very affected and will be more affected. Because the attack on Iran was carried out by Netanyahu, not by Iran, Iran has not done anything like that. If you are nuclear, and Iran is also doing something, it would be better if you officially say, yes, I am also submitting to inspection, I am withdrawing, and you also withdraw, then there would be a matter of conversation. War of attrition, I was telling you, is like a sudden death in a match. Whoever scores the goal, that is it. The difference is how long the other team tolerates. Israel's tolerance is gradually decreasing. I wanted to talk about this in my vlog today, but since the Qatar series began, I was forced to do this live. The most serious problem Israel is facing now is that Israelis are fleeing from Israel by boat in large numbers, mostly resourceful Israelis. Not only are they fleeing themselves, but also leaving their country, saving their lives, their resources and their capital. Because capital now can move with just a push of a button, which poses a severe threat to the Israeli economy. The Ben Gurion airport was closed long ago. Tel Aviv's situation is before your eyes. First, the airport was paralyzed, then the economy was paralyzed, and now this issue has started in other cities as well. So a new issue for Israel is the confrontation with Iran, whose population is around 100 million, while the number of Israelis is much smaller, many times less, and it is decreasing gradually. America's problem is that many Americans are currently trapped in Israel and cannot leave. The plan was to evacuate them, about 30,000 Americans. If one plane carries 150 or 200 people, it would need 150 to 200 flights. Where will these flights take off from? Which route will they take? The entire Middle East is, in a way, blocked and closed right now. People had anticipated these situations long ago. We had anticipated that all this would happen, and you will see it will spread, spill over. Its effects. Fire spreads like forest fire, right? War is fire, so how can it not spill over? How can neighboring regions remain safe from its effects? This had to happen, and it did. How America reacts to this is a million-dollar question. A relatively small country like Iran is no match for the United States, the supermighty power, which has recently dropped mountains, not bombs, on it, and has B-2 bombers and who knows what else. How could such a small country dare to harm them? Destroying airbases was not the real goal. In Punjabi we say hitting and faking are done by the same person. That is, faking means if you raise your hand to hit someone, it is considered a hit. So they first challenged, called out, and now who knows what will happen next. This only means that Americans now understand that someone wants to engage us under the pretext of Iran. So you have already engaged. This is something you should have thought about earlier. When Netanyahu attacked, you might remember, I had requested that there should be an exit plan for the war. Neither Netanyahu nor Trump has any plan about what will happen if this continues, because the goals they have set are so difficult that they do not seem achievable. Now, face-saving is impossible. If a third party had intervened, the war would have ended. But you will not allow a third party to intervene because they are your primary rival, and their wish is to keep you in a constant bleeding point, to make this your Vietnam. I had brought a wonderful book from America called No More Vietnams by Richard Nixon. Now it seems like there will be many more Vietnams because the situation has changed. This phase, the last 3 to 4 years, marks the end of your sole superpower era. You have not handled it well, you have not coincided with it, you have not invested in it. If you listen to Trump, you will see how arrogant he is when he talks. Thank God he does not say, like Roman Caesars, we are coming to your office, that is, speaking for himself. The Roman emperors used to say similar things, and his tone is exactly like that. He thinks it is necessary to say that no other country in the world is capable of such an attack. There really is no such country with abundant resources whose people are becoming corrupt, economy ruined, public exchequer wasted. You have dropped huge bombs, but nothing major has changed. You said correctly that no one else has an army like ours, a force like ours. No one else has it. Right now, the American Security Council is meeting, called by Mosuffi. Before starting, I noticed that the thought came that it should be done with consultation, so that later Congress does not say, "What have you done? You did not consult the Senate?" You see, in the Republican Party, there is an element of rebellion saying you should not have done this. It is not your legal right. You have tried to violate the law by attacking Iran without asking, because there was no clear and present danger to the United States. Well, now see what happens as a result. It could also be that they drop a few light bombs and then escape through narrow lanes that they have selected to silence Netanyahu. I had requested a long time ago that these small things are too small to drag the American army into war, to pull America towards war. These are very minor things. Something big will have to happen if this is possible. For Israel, it is not very difficult. Israel can easily do this because Israel specializes in such matters. I've been saying this for some time now. I am not the only one. 4 or 5 others are also saying it. Right now, it is possible that formally there may be some minor reactions to save lives. People think, oh, the Third World War will start. The Third World War will not be so simple. God forbid it happens. The Third World War will be the only and last war. That will be Armageddon. May God protect us. May God protect Pakistan. May God protect Muslims. Because right now, the epicenter is the Muslim world, and I am very worried about that. For now, this is all from our newsroom. If there is any latest update, I will be here to assist. That wraps up our translation of Aftab Iqbal's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.